Are you ready?
Jazz is definitely very intellectual. In order to do it, you really have to dive into the harmony and figure out what's going on. And I think there's a part of all of us that really likes analyzing things.
It's a great outlet for people to really be able to express themselves and do things at a high level.
When you really nail something and get it in the right spot and play it exactly the right way, it feels like the universe is falling into place.
In the 1950s, the Tectonians, which was a big band, were performing dances. They were performing functions. And Klaus Liebman, who was the music director at that time, thought we should try to harness this somehow and make it better. And the #1 person in the Boston scene at that time who was leading big bands and was known as a consummate teacher was Herb Pomeroy.
And I'm sure what he probably said to Herb is, I want the best band we can have. Get it going.
In the spring of 1963, what he did with the program here was to build it from the ground up. He illuminated the essence of the students' passion, and he brought a sense of professionalism and polish.
The experience for me was just one of wonder at how he managed a rehearsal.
He had a wonderful way of working with the students so that he could push them and get maximum effort out of them, but at the same time be congenial.
He had lots of little tricks that liven up, your melody lines when you're playing, and I've been passing these on to people for decades now.
He set a real good example for me. He was a kind, straight ahead, down to earth, communicative, helpful guy, and made me feel comfortable right away.
The reputation that he built here for having a great band, I think it probably attracted a lot of people.
It was called the Festival Jazz Ensemble because in the early days they would go to various jazz festivals.
He auditioned everybody. He was turning so many people away, he decided to start like a feeder band.
The concert jazz band was led by Everett Longstreth, and his focus was really to teach us the fundamentals.
The big difference for me with the MIT people was when I told them something, I only had to tell them once. And I couldn't do it all the time because maybe they didn't have the technique to do it all the time. But they understood it.
I was always just really blown away not only by the caliber of the band, but the caliber of the music. It was always fresh, it was always new. Jamshied Sharifi was the next one right after Herb, and in fact he had been a student of Herb's at Berkeley as well as at MIT, so he was essentially handpicked by Herb to succeed him.
He was younger and hipper, and he brought a new vibe to the band. He was also a really good writer. Some of the best music in the band's library comes from Jamshied.
I grew up with music that included rock and funk and R&B and soul and even hip hop. So all of those I felt were viable rhythmic areas that the band could explore.
In 1981, Mark Harvey joined the faculty. And he really has been a central figure to the jazz education experience at MIT since that time.
I've had a couple classes with him, and he's a genius, and he's incredibly open to students' new ideas.
It was a laboratory for composers.
Jim Odell had great success with festivals, and he brought wonderful artists to engage and work with the students, including Phil Woods and Terrence Blanchard. And he also continued having local and national jazz composers, innovative jazz composers, write expressly for the ensemble.
Who's writing? Who can I talk to about getting some charts? Who can I get over here to work with the band? Help me feed the great appetite that the FJE students had.
We've been privileged and honored to be able to interact with some of the greatest jazz artists on the planet. Legendary saxophonist Joe Lovano has been an artist in residence a number of times here at MIT. We were rehearsing one of his nonettes, and I had tried to, as best I could, dutifully rehearse it close to the tempo that he had recorded it at. And he came in and took it at a tempo that I had never done it with the students. And I was a little worried. And unbelievably, and he was playing with them, they rose to the occasion and played way over their heads. And it was amazing to see. And it was just another example of when you take a great artist and you put them with students who are passionate and have the ability to rise, they will rise.
Can you hear me? Yes! Hey, how you doing? Great. Modern technology, MIT, yeah!
We are rehearsing Chick Corea's From Forever. It's dedicated to Herm Pomeroy, and the notion that he would write a piece for MIT sent me out of orbit.
We thought we would run it for you.
I've got the score in front of me, and let's go.
This Chick Corea piece is this beautiful amalgamous mess of melody and harmony and rhythmic counterpoint. It's taken a while for the whole band to kind of dig through this heap of content and start to gel it together.
You can do that whatever way you want, but my intention at that section was to create an illusion with that rhythmic illusion with that second part of the phrase. Like, for instance, you go you go into a backbeat there or something. Yeah.
The students that perform music at MIT, and particularly jazz, have such a deep love of it that they just have to do it. It isn't a choice almost. And I think MIT is about passion. It's about excellence. It's about stretching. And I think any innovation involves risk, and jazz at MIT is no exception.
It's definitely been something that's made my time at MIT much more enjoyable.
This is my meditation. This is my sit-down time where I just get to be in the moment and lose myself in the music that I get to make with the people around me.
It's just, one of the fondest memories I have of all of MIT, by far.
There's nothing to stop MIT from being a leader in the jazz field for another 50 years.
Hi, this is Chick Corea. I want to congratulate all of you.
I absolutely would like to congratulate the MIT Jazz Band and Program.
Happy birthday on 50. Let's have 50 more at least.
Congratulations to the Festival Jazz Ensemble for your 50th anniversary.
You've lasted 50 years and it's only getting better.
Congratulations, MIT Jazz.